Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone report is beautiful. But we also hear, stated here, that there's a major dispute as to representation and how the election will be done. It's obvious. If you speak with one Sierra Leone delegate or two, they will tell you that the political situation they are going towards the election is unstable. There's no need for we to hide anything from each other here. If we in Nigeria discover that there will be no free or fair election, of course we say it out. Because if we say it out and Ecowas intervenes, it's helping us. But if we know that there's something that could create problem in the country, and then we come here and sit down and say there's nothing, and something happens, we have lost two countries. So
a situation where police are entering parliament to make sure that there is a decorum in parliament means that that country political situation is not stable.
After the August 10 incident, I think that statement needs to be rethink and maybe restated, because we know just a few weeks ago there was a situation at the parliament where parliament member had to point, and like my colleague said, security personnel had to come in. I'm sure we don't want to consider that kind of situation as saying that security situation is stable.
I think there's a grave situation, and this parliament must send a fact-finding mission to Sierra Leone to investigate this major violation. It's not the first time, it's not the second time, it's the third time. The second issue in Sierra Leone is that less than a year to election, Sierra Leone is still trying to change the electoral law. They're still trying to change the election law to work in the favor of the ruling establishment. I think it's quite alarming, and maybe the Sierra Leone delegation need to speak to this again.
On the issue of the election law, the head of delegation was no mentioned this, that 1 year to the election you are trying to change the election law. It's not just the law, it's changing the system, where the law obviously affects the system. Now the system is trying to bring into place a proportional representation. But for the short of my political life, proportional representation is done where there are no defined electoral boundaries, and the law of the delegation of Sierra Leone can bear me out of this. If whatever their law say, I will be willing to listen to them. How do you want to move to a proportional representation when there are clearly defined political boundaries, when there are clearly established political constituencies, but yet you want to move to proportional representation as though there are no laws and order? The last time I remember there was proportional representation in Sierra Leone was when the war had just ended. There were no system, there were no laws. I think they did that. Similar thing happened in Liberia, but after recovery now, after all these years, how come you want to move to proportional representation when there are clearly defined political constituencies?
Sierra Leone, you know, any country going into elections, whether it is a first world country or it is in a third world country, there must be some tensions because of politics. Because people are fighting for power. They are fighting for power. I'm not a security man like Honorable Zago, but I can tell you that Sierra Leone, the kind of political tolerance that we have in Sierra Leone, trust me, we don't have it in most countries, because we don't say anywhere else. Sierra Leone is the only country, as I speak to you, Madam Speaker and honorable members, we do not have any political detainees. None. Zero. There's no way we'll be in a country where politics is so bad and you still don't have any political detainees. No way. We all know that. We are all politicians. We know that very well. But we don't have it in Sierra Leone. The problem we have in Sierra Leone is not inter-party politics. It is the intra-party politics. The problem is that the main opposition party is in a very serious problem. They are in and out of court every day. They are fighting each other every day. And government has nothing absolutely to do with that. I can assure you. Have nothing absolutely to do with that. Honorable Senator Snow and Honorable Clarence Massacoy, they know very well what I'm talking about, Madam Speaker. They know. The main opposition party is a very serious situation, even for us in Ecowas. I have had meetings as Speaker of Ecowas Parliament with key players in the opposition, just so that I will be able to bring peace in that political party. That is the major problem we have in Sierra Leone, not between government or the opposition parties. Then we come to August 10 and Madam Speaker, honorable members, our Constitution provides for people to air their views, for people to demonstrate peacefully. They have the right. But when you have a situation wherein the demonstrators have guns, wherein the demonstrators have machetes, that is no longer a peaceful demonstration. That can only call for the intervention of the security forces. We had a situation on August 10 where, because it is a right of the citizens to demonstrate, government allowed people to demonstrate on that fateful day, and they were escorted by police officers. What happened? When they realized that, in fact, the police officers that were escorting them from one street to the other were not armed, they were all attacked and killed. In broad daylight, 6 police officers were killed. Where has that ever happened in this region? 6 police officers who were there to protect the demonstrators because government felt these were peaceful demonstrators. It was only after the killing of those police officers, the security officers and other people began to see demonstrators with guns and machetes. And we call that peaceful. Presidential and legislative elections. The National Electoral Commission, or the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, have not been able, in fact they declared that they will not be able to go back to do those, to give quotas and divide the country into constituencies based on the current population quota. The last census was in 2015, Madam Speaker, honorable members. Now we had a new census in December 2021, which simply means that there are no constituencies, and as such, the President deemed it fit, in consultation with the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, to declare for a proportional representation system of elections. We already have it here in our constitution. It's not a new law. Honorable members have to understand that. Thank you very much. I guess the Liberian delegation will now understand that, in fact, there are no constituencies as it is right now. That is one. Number 2, as a matter of fact, Madam Speaker, honorable members, it was through the same law that I entered Parliament the first time in 2002. The first time I entered Parliament was through a district block system proportional representation in 2002. So it is in our laws. Thank you. Now, fearless.